Hey everybody, my voice is still gone, so please just bear with me, but I felt like this was definitely important to make this video, and this is something I really wanted to address. And it goes back to the video I made a couple weeks ago about Drake and XXXTentacion, and the argument that was going on between the two, whether Drake bit his song, Look At Me, or whether he didn't. And I made some opinions about the video, and I had a really large response. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to watch it. You guys could have been anywhere. Instead, you chose to watch my video, and I really appreciate that. It means a lot. So I definitely want to do this and continue this argument, throw in my opinion on what's going on now, and see what you guys think, most importantly. So what's happened in the last 2 weeks since I made my original video? So it seems like X made an original response saying things like, I wish he would have just shown some love and helped me out. He basically was looking for help from Drake, looking for him to acknowledge the fact that he was inspired by a song. It wasn't anything harsh. It wasn't anything hard. Didn't seem like he was mad about it, honestly. And that time went by after that. And Drake did an interview with DJ Semtex the other day, which I did listen to, this segment where he basically played the role of the innocent bystander.
Of people being like, you took this kid's flow or whatever, right? So I'm just like, yo, what's happening to me right now, you know? So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to read, figure out who they're talking about.
And I'm not throwing shots here, but basically what he said was that he had no idea that he was biting the style of X. He said he had no idea who X was, and he basically said that he got attacked by his fans on Instagram where they were saying you're biting X's style, and he had to go look him up, and that was his first time hearing of the rapper. And that's basically what Drake said. So time goes by again. X goes on Twitter, and he states pretty much, fuck you, Drake. Says your career is over, turn to real estate because your shit is done. You've been biting people's style. He mentions the whole cha-cha thing with Drom, saying that he's been biting people's style. And X, this seems like a pretty harsh response this time. So after initially coming out and not really being on attack mode, he came out here throwing punches, throwing jabs at Drake. And that's pretty much where we're at right now. We'll see where it goes from here. So now that I've laid out what I think is a pretty fair synopsis of what has happened over the last couple days, I want to jump into my opinion. But before I do that, I want to throw kind of a disclaimer out there. And that disclaimer is that I understand I can make this video factual only. And I understand but by not doing that, there will be those whose opinion does not align with mine. And that's fine. That's the choice I made. I wouldn't have fun making these videos if I did them as a facts only format. This isn't a news channel, but rather think of it as a discussion between me and you on these topics. I know I'm not always right. I'm only human. So that's why I'm always here, and I want to hear your guys' opinions. With that being said, I don't like seeing work being taken and being watered down for business. I like authenticity, and when it comes to music, I like it organic. So that's why I said the things I said last time, and that's why it seems like I'm aligned with X, which in this situation I kind of am. I do have a bias, and anybody that says they don't have a bias is lying. We're all human. It's natural for us to have a bias and our side to pick, and that's what makes this fun. It wouldn't be fun if everybody just picked Drake's side or picks X's side. So I throw down the facts, I throw down my opinion on the matter, and then I want to hear from you guys. If you guys dislike my opinion, dislike my video, cool, I appreciate that. I'm just laying it out like it is. But the point is that with these videos, I will try to represent both sides and what happens, but I will ultimately go with my opinion because that's why I make these videos. That's what makes it fun for me. I wouldn't like it being a news channel. But anyway, I want to see you guys continue to give me your thoughts, even if you couldn't hate mine anymore. Even if you fucking hate every word I say, it's the interaction that keeps this going for me, and I think for you guys as well. Like I said, I want this to be a discussion, so keep it going, love or hate. I take it all. And now comes the part where I start getting some love and some hate. I know I'm about to get some hate for what I'm about to say, but here it goes anyway. Drake, I think he played this whole situation like a fiddle. I said before that he's a business, and he answered the questions an NBA player answers after game questions. Playing ignorant, acting like he didn't know what the fuck happened. You've ever seen an NBA player interview? They're going to answer the most politically correct way while protecting their brand. And that's exactly what Drake did.
He's returned to OKC. How do you think they'll handle him today?
Who?
Reggie Jackson.
Oh, what happened?
And the reason I say this is because Drake always has his quote-unquote ear to the street. So my question is, how the fuck did you not know about X? The dude has millions of plays on SoundCloud. He's Billboard Top 100 now. And I know you have people hired to look for talent. There's no way he finds out about all these rappers and then somehow misses this mountain of a fan base and a musical library that is X and pretends like he's never heard of him. Like, okay, that's not gonna happen. There's no way. There's no way that happened. I don't believe it for a second. I feel like he answered that way to, one, avoid conflict, make it look like he had no idea what the hell happened. Because if he came out and said, yeah, he caught me, I jacked his fucking style, I bit his song, what the hell is everybody gonna say? It's gonna look like all the accusations from before are true, and it's gonna make him look like a jackass. So no shit, he's not gonna say that. Of course he's gonna play blind to the whole situation. And you know what? Like, that's the right thing to do as a business. And that's what I always say about this guy. He's a business. He answered it like a business. He played dumb. And you know what? X's sound is popping. Of course he's going to bite it. And now I want to talk about what X said in this whole situation. So his original tweets were a little more passive, a little more docile. And honestly, both sets of tweets, I'm just going to throw this out there, I don't think are him. Because let's not forget, the dude's fucking behind bars. As far as I know, you don't get your phone behind bars, as far as I know. So I think this is basically somebody that's in his circle tweeting out what they think he would want to say. And that's why at first they try to play it cool. And now second time around, blew up, which is, I could see X doing that because he's a pretty, from what it seems like, up and down emotionally guy. You see him looking real cool, acting real cool, really nice, but you also see him exploding, beating the shit out of people. So I wouldn't put it past him to not do this and say fuck you to Drake and all that, say your career is over, call him out, calling him a pussy. But I honestly don't think it was him tweeting this. And if it was, I feel like he should have just stuck to one side. But I feel like Drake's answer is what admitted the whole angry response that he threw out. And when Drake acted ignorant to the whole situation is when he said, fuck this, I'm about to just go crazy on Twitter on him. But anyways, I can't blame him for being mad if he really thinks that his style was stolen, because technically that's money being taken from him while he's locked up by a guy who already has an infamous amount of fame. But honestly, I know you guys are going to say I'm siding with X here, but I just can't help but like somebody when they say middle finger to the big guy. Because, you know, he could have probably played it nice with Drake until he got out, and they could have probably collabed, you know, and that would help him rise to fame. But he said, no, fuck that. I'm going to take my self-respect, my pride, and I'm going to do it my own way, carve my own road out, and I respect the shit out of that. And it just goes back to that original thing I said about X, is where he's genuine, where he does what the fuck he wants, not what's like the business move. The opposite of Drake. So his tweets, I was kind of happy about, to be honest. I can't lie. But in summary, if you guys haven't seen his tweets before, he one time tweeted that he was going to kill himself. So it comes as no surprise that he goes up and down emotionally. So even if this was him, which like I said, I don't think it is, but if it was him, this doesn't come as a surprise. He seems like the dude who could one day hate you and want to kill you, and the next day say he apologizes and come and show love, you know? To close this conversation out about what's happened in the last couple days, I just want to reiterate that I think Drake did the business move here. He tried to come out and say, I'm not a shitty person like that, but I don't think he's a shitty person for doing it. He's just doing what's best for him, his brand, and his credibility. So I understand where he's coming from. I think X is a genuine dude who came out emotionally, threw some punches at Drake. Were they warranted? Maybe, maybe not. I think X's sound is very unique, so I hate to see it ripped personally. And we still don't know if it was, if it wasn't. I feel like it was, but that's just me personally. I want to hear what you guys think about it. But before that, I also wanted to get back to some of the comments I read in my original video and just answer to some of those. To those who ask why I side with X in this situation, it's because I feel like I've seen this happen before, where a sound is ripped and bitten, and it's just, I hate seeing imitators and copiers of certain sounds. I like when people acknowledge and borrow and grow with the sound, that's cool, but when it's a clear rip, a blatant rip, I'm not a big fan. And Drake's been accused of this as the perpetrator multiple times, so that's what makes it hard for me to side with him on this. And in terms of X, I don't think he's for everyone, but his sound to me is genuine, and he makes music that you can tell is original and legitimate. That's what draws me in, and that's, I think, what draws most fans in. I hope I'm speaking for a lot of people, because that's what really does it for me. A way you can think about it is, think about Future. I love Future, and everybody's loved Future, but when everybody kind of found out that he wasn't about the life and the pain that he kind of raps about, that it was more just for the flair, he kind of lost some of that touch that he had that made him special, that made him as big as he was originally. And now people kind of like, oh, he's just kind of rapping to rap and borrowing that from the lifestyle he's seen, when he's not really like doing all those drugs and doing all that stuff. So no hate on Future. I'm a huge fan of Future, but it's just a comparison just to give you guys an idea of what I mean. Now, in terms of the distorted and intrusive sound that X uses,
Getting that bass, ay, put that shit right, ain't just play, ay, run through so hard, ay, fuck nigga, what's really good?
I think he uses as part of the flair that makes him appealing. I'm pretty sure he could afford a good studio and clean up the quality, like, let's be real here, but it's an intended choice to make it sound so distorted and almost like cheap, to give you that vibe that he's going for, that homemade vibe, so it's almost more interpersonal that way.
I'm always with her, sun don't shine, tears don't show, hurt me now, cause heart's been broke.
I mean, his whole mantra is bad vibes only, and I feel like that murky sound kind of goes with it. It kind of reminds me of like Paranormal Activity. It wasn't like production quality that made the movie so popular. It was like that authentic feel. It puts you in a mindset, and that sound complements it well. That's why I said it's something Drake can't replicate. With all that being said, I feel like I've laid out a quick little synopsis of what's happened over the last couple days and given my thoughts on both sides, picked my side, given my opinions on the matter, showed my bias as usual, and I want to hear what you guys think on the situation. I want to hear what you guys think about the developments that have happened over the last couple days with X's response, Drake's response, about the whole situation. Where do you think it's going to go from here? And just let me know what you think of all this together. And thanks for bearing with my bad voice. And it's time for me to go before this shit cracks on me.